Hi, this is Lucy or Starlight Haven or Lightning 816, whatever, what have you. I wanted to go ahead and make this video real quick because recently I've been taking a sign language class, and yesterday was my first official class day. I couldn't record this video yesterday because there were other things going on. But I just wanted to go ahead and record this video telling you my experiences and what I've been learning and what I've been doing. So sorry, I'm recording in a really weird spot, but work with me, it'll be great. Last Wednesday was my orientation. It was at North Fort Worth Baptist Church. I decided to take this sign language class, because I sort of have, just this irrational worry or concern, I guess, about going deaf. I know that sounds kind of weird, but that's sort of something that's been on my mind for a long time. And so I decided to go ahead and take the class. Last week was orientation, and what we did was we all sat down and we started watching this video about autism. Autism is the prejudice that says that I'm automatically better than somebody else because I can hear. Which is, I feel, just as bad as any other prejudice. Racism, sexism, looking down on somebody just because of their beliefs, just autism, I feel like, is in the same boat, looking down on somebody just because they're deaf or hard of hearing, whatever have you. And so we watched this video, and in the video, you have all these deaf individuals signing about family experiences in which their parents wouldn't sign with them, and whenever they would talk about something, they would always say, oh yeah, oh, you don't have to know, I'll tell you later. But really, what those people needed was to be included, and the best way that you can include somebody who is hard of hearing is to use sign. And our teacher, thankfully, our teacher's been a certified interpreter for several years, many years. She's the interpreter at North Fort Worth Baptist Church, and she's great, she's wonderful. And she told us several stories about people who have used sign language, any sort of sign language, to save their lives. So that alone just really opened my eyes to how important it is. And so that was last week. That was orientation. Just yesterday, Wednesday, was day one, the official first class. We got our very own, they gave us composition books. The class itself was only $30, which $30 for a class for adults? That's really good, I've been in classes where, I've been in college classes that are just totally expensive because they're part of a big college, part of a big university, and of course you've got this big bill, just all this tuition and things. But no, this, for a 14-week class where you get to learn the basics of a language, $30, that's pretty good. And $30 covered the composition book and my American Sign Language book. It covered all those areas. And so by next class, I need to have the first 3 chapters read. The first 3 chapters is the history of the hearing impaired or deaf or hard of hearing, what have you. Next week is culture. So I can't wait to find out what the proper term is, but just be aware, if you're watching this and the term deaf is inappropriate to you, or if you don't like the term hard of hearing, I get to learn about culture next week. So please forgive me if I'm going about it the wrong way. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to, because this has been a very eye-opening class, and I just finished orientation and the first class. So I'm just getting the hang of it, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I know I keep looking back and forth from the screen to the lens. Sorry about that. So last night we learned about the letters and the numbers of the alphabet. We went all the way up to 25. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. No, wait, 4. This is 4. And 5. And then you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I believe this might be 23. I think this is 23. I need to look back at my book. Oh my goodness. I did, thankfully all the notes are in here. 25 is very interesting because there's two ways to go about it. It's like you can either do this, or this. And this is 24. This is 24. So apparently the 25 has 3 different meanings, but the new one that younger people are using is this one. This is 25, which I find interesting. This is 20. So it looks like a bird beak. 20. I now officially know how to say my how to say my whole name. L-U-C-Y. And that's my first name. One of my favorite films is The Box Trolls, which was made by Laika. This is The Box Trolls. B-O-X-T-R-O-L-L-S. That's Box Trolls. Very interesting stuff. Which is very interesting because one of the characters in the movie is a guy named Snatcher. And the sign for Snatch is that. So if I'm talking about Snatcher, would it be Snatch E-R? Like Snatch-er? That's very fascinating. I have to, I can always ask, my teacher, one day when she and I meet up and we talk about it. So far, yeah, I need to practice a little bit more. I probably should, but you know what? That's good. That's good. Practice makes perfect, and I'm very excited. I've always wanted to learn sign language. One of the main reasons, apart from my irrational fear about going deaf, when I was 4, I met a little boy named, well, I don't want to give his name. Oh my goodness. He was in my preschool class, and he had a hearing aid in his ear. Now I knew that something had to have been going on with his ear if he had something in there, but I didn't know what exactly it was, and I didn't know what deaf or hard of hearing or hearing impaired meant. I didn't know what that meant. But I honestly didn't care, he was 4, I was 4, I thought he was cute, I know that sounds really silly, but, it's true. It was 1997 when I first met him. He was 4, I was 4. He and I weren't in class for very long. When I was 6, I moved, to a completely different country. So I only knew him for a couple of years. But ever since seeing that little hearing aid in his ear, and he wouldn't call me Lucy, he would call me Luigi, he would pronounce it that way. So, ever since then, I've just had this budding curiosity about, hearing and sign language. And, I used to work for Disney. In 2014, I used to work at the Walt Disney World as a quick service food and beverage cast member. And then last year, I worked at Disneyland as, essentially custodial, and if you know more than one language, they'll on their name tag, they'll tell you, it'll show what languages other than English that they speak. And so I remember being at Walt Disney World back in 2014 and seeing name tags that have hand signs on the tag, which signify that they know sign language. Knowing sign language, or any language other than English, I feel like would be a really great thing to learn, because if there ever comes a point where you can't use your mouth, you can't use speech, you can't use anything, you can use your hands to signify what you need or what you want. And I can see that being very useful in certain businesses like Disney, which tries to appeal to everybody. Disney tries to appeal to everybody. So yeah, I feel like learning a language like this and learning its history and the history of this very group of people, I feel like can't hurt you. I feel like it can only help you. I feel like it really can. Yesterday, the very first thing we did was a little exercise where we put little plugs in our ears. And when you put these little plugs, they're like little made of rubber. They're kind of soft, you know. They don't hurt. They just feel kind of, oh, that's kind of weird, you know. When I tried them on, everyone around me I felt like was whispering. There was a moment where I felt like I had put them on incorrectly, but the teacher insisted that I did put them on correctly. So I'm looking around and everybody is talking as if they're whispering, if at all. Not even that for a few of the people. It was supposed to give us a better understanding about what it really is like to be deaf. To be deaf, really think about that. You can't hear anything. And if you can, it's not much. It's really not much. So it's very eye-opening and very humbling. I highly recommend learning another language other than the ones that you know right now, including sign language. Right now it's very basic, you know, just letters and numbers. But then next week we're going to learn about culture, and eventually we're also going to learn about signs for very specific things, which will be very interesting. Making sure that you're signing one word and not another word. You know, my teacher calls that fatal errors. I can't wait to learn about that. So I highly recommend really getting into it because it can only help you. It cannot hurt you to know this language or any other language at all. It can't hurt you. It can only help you. So yeah, I better get to studying and better get back to practicing my letters and numbers. So yeah, I'll be back very soon with another video. You're all beautiful and wonderful, and I'll see you later. Take care.